Welcome back, everybody. So today we're going to try another one from Transient Artisan Ales. This is called For the Record. This is an Irish oatmeal stout, 5.2% ABV. It doesn't list the IBUs, but we'll see, because most of the time, at least for me, the perceived bitterness is more helpful than saying 50 IBUs or something like that, because you could have a New England IPA and have it at 10 IBUs, but the bitterness level in there is perceived as 90 or something like that. So we'll go ahead and check this one out. $3.29. I did pick this up at Hoffman Street Grocery. I think at least in the, say, for how many ever years I've been doing this, back 3-4 years ago, you never saw a lot of porter stouts, in midsummer. And I almost think breweries are putting out a lot more porter stouts, barrel-aged beers in the summer now. High ABV beers, New England, double New England IPAs. That's kind of different, but just big, stouts in general or porters. And I think last year and this year, you're starting to see a lot more. I know, like New Holland is putting out new Dragon Milks all the time, and now we have oatmeal stout and all that. So it's kind of interesting how it's pretty much whenever you want a stout, you can get a stout, instead of, I remember doing some reviews and saying, I can't wait to get to stouts, or I can't wait to get to porters, just from drinking all the IPAs, all the ambers, all that stuff. So it's actually kind of nice, kind of a change of pace, that you can pick up more stouts. Maybe that's just around here in Michigan, but that's what I'm seeing. Let's go ahead and get this open, get it into a glass. See what we think. There we go. I'm going to stop there just in case I go over. We do have a chocolate colored head on there, tannous chocolate. Small and medium bubbles, they're popping, moving all around and all that. A little over a finger of a head. Bubbles on the side are compact and spread apart, like dish soap and bubble wrap. Color, I would say that's black. At first, when it was sitting on the glass, it almost looked like it was in that porter category, a dark brown color. But I think it's the light coming off the coaster, because, yeah, I can't see through that thing. I don't know when the last time was I had a actual stout that you couldn't see through. That was black, I should say. Let's go ahead and smell. Almost like an over-roasted stout. It's got that coffee, like that, I wouldn't say burnt, but very dark roasted coffee smell in there. I guess you could say some chocolate, a little bitterness in there. It's actually nice to smell. I'm not saying the beer is going to be good, but just for a change of pace, again, drinking all these IPAs, New England IPAs, to get to something this dark and this bold that has coffee in it. I am a big coffee fan, so if you're not into coffee, you're probably not going to like at least the smell of this. But yeah, it's not burnt, but that close to being burnt dark coffee, dark malt is really good. I don't know, again, if it's just because if it's a change of pace for me, but yeah, smells good. Let's go ahead and taste. It's weird. So, like I said, you're getting that almost burnt coffee dark roast smell, it carries over into the taste, but I think for me, it lacks in the body. It's almost like when you drink it, it's almost like a watered down, dark roasted coffee. Sometimes I always drink my coffee cold, and if I put too many ice cubes in there, um, obviously it's going to water it down some, and if I put too many in there, then it's more of a watery coffee, and that's kind of what the first impression of this is. You get that dark bold coffee flavor, but it's very light bodied. It's under medium. A little sweetness in there, roasted malt. I do get some chocolate, some coffee, but yeah, I don't think it matches the body. Like the flavor, it's not balanced as well as the smells that you're getting, if that makes sense. Yeah, there's a little sweetness in there. Yeah, it's surprising. I mean, I know how it can be done, but yeah, the tastes and the smells, I should say the bold tastes and the bold smells don't match the body on this. In the back, there's some sweetness, and it almost comes off as like a lactose to me. I'm not sure how this beer was made, but yeah, it's almost like I wouldn't say a creamer because I never use creamer in my coffee, but it's almost like that, almost coming off as like a vanilla coffee chocolate cup of coffee is what it is. It is a little dry, but that, I don't know. Let's look on Untapped. I think there's some lactose in this. Now the weird part, it says Irish oatmeal stout nitro tap. There's no way this is nitro beer. Weird. It's okay. If you're a coffee drinker, I think you're okay to pick this up. Is it worth $3.50? Probably. Would I drink this now in the summer? No. I would probably drink it, later fall when it's starting to get cold. Not one that I would want in the summer. Now, in saying that, excuse me, because of the coffee, early morning, if you were going to drink all day, probably a good one to start out with. What was it, 5.2? 5.2%. Not going to wreck your palate or wreck your day to have one, but yeah, I would probably have to go with a 3.75 out of 5. I need that body to be thicker. With the oatmeal, it should be thicker. I don't know how they made it. It does taste like it does have lactose. I don't think it does. Maybe it didn't attenuate all the way. Your porters are supposed to be the lower ABV, then your stouts are supposed to be the higher ABV. Now, porters, you could say 4.5 to 5.5, then somewhere 5.5 on up are supposed to be your stout. So I would say, if you're looking at it that way, this is a porter that was overdone. Maybe it didn't attenuate all the way, so there's leftover sugar, and that's why it's coming off as a lactose in the back of it. Maybe it's not. Or maybe, again, they made a stout, it didn't attenuate all the way. That's why we're getting more sugar in there, and it's a lower ABV. I don't believe a stout should be under 5.5, but that's just me. I would call this a porter overdone or a porter with coffee, something like that. Even talking that dark roasted coffee, dark roasted malt is still in my mouth. So yeah, 3.75 out of 5 for this one. So if you enjoyed this review, check some more out over here. And until next time, happy brewing.